Hello, Internet. I hope that you can hear me and that you can hear a guy named Vince. I
Hello.
suck at this sometimes. Hello, Vince. We were just thinking about out loud a story, apparently in Joshua 7:21. And as
Yes.
far as I know, this is like the first time I've realized two stories. Uh, Uzzah dying by touching the ark, and this story being kind of the inverse of each other in some way. So, for people who don't know the stories, first of all, in Joshua 7:21, you have any comments before we start, Vince?
No.
Joshua 7:21. So, in the most concise manner I can think of at this moment, before I start reading, a guy touches cursed object when they're conquering the land of Canaan. God said not touch that thing. Guy touched that thing. Consequences happen. Okay, Joshua 7:21. Among the plunder I saw a beautiful robe from Babylon, 200 silver coins, and a bar of gold weighing more than a pound. I wanted them so much that I took them. They are hidden in the ground, that's underneath the dirt, under his tent, in the ground beneath my tent, with the silver buried deeper than the rest. That's even another layer that I don't think I knew existed. Okay, so there's a lot of details around this. And I'm trying to think of how short or long I want this stream to be. I will do my best to go to the other story now. Like, is it clear, do you think, Vince, the story that's happening here? They're conquering Canaan. God says, don't touch thing. There's a guy in Israel, right? He's an Israelite, that touches thing, and that's bad. Now consequences are going to come one way or the other.
Yeah, because at that point, I, which is the place that Israel was then defeated at, um, that defeat at I was brought about by Achan in conquered Jericho, hiding a robe, silver, and gold.
And I'm sure there's something symbolic about each of those three, but I don't know what it is, so moving on. And also about the silver being, that's, did it say silver and gold deeper? It said silver deeper. With the silver buried deeper than the rest. Not even the gold. That's so. Man, probably gonna look up another translation eventually. So, anyways, I guess that's clear then, the story happening. So now the second story. Then the language, yeah, I'll read both of these both of these verses. This is 2 Samuel 6 and 7. But when they arrived at the threshing floor of Nacon, the oxen stumbled, and Uzzah reached out his hand and steadied the ark of God. Then the Lord's anger was aroused against Uzzah, and God struck him dead because of this. So Uzzah died right there beside the ark of God. So pretty sure I've never noticed this parallel of people touching things that they shouldn't touch. Okay, so there's in when they're conquering Canaan, Israel is conquering Canaan. This guy, did I get the name right? Achan?
Achan, yeah.
Yay! Okay, and so he touches cursed object. So when God says don't touch thing, you don't touch thing. Okay? Doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. Doesn't matter if you're trying to debate. Well, I don't know if you're right, God. Maybe I'll just go ahead and touch it, okay? Is that all right with you? It's not all right when you disobey God. God, I repent of my disobedience. I'm trying, Lord. He knows my heart, and He knows your heart, whoever's listening. I have the right motivation. I personally would call it love of wisdom and or love of victory over darkness. So they were having love of victory over darkness, conquering Canaan. I would say the word Philistines. Don't touch the cursed objects. What is it? The robe, the gold, and the silver.
Yep.
Which is all of a sudden reminding me of another story, but I don't want to get distracted. Okay, so the second story is Uzzah dies by touching the ark. So what's in my mind and kind of what so I don't think I've mentioned this to Vince, but it was kind of probably clear to you at some level, Vince, is okay, there's one unholy, right? Cursed
Yes.
objects and then one holy object, God's special box. And so I don't even know exactly how to roll that over in my mind, but the same thing in both stories is don't touch the thing.
I think more importantly,
Okay, go ahead.
when when the Ark of the Covenant was made and very particular instructions were laid out,
Okay.
when Uzzah made a well-intentioned, spontaneous movement to go and touch it to stop it from falling to the ground, even that struck
Right,
him dead
right,
instantaneously.
right. He thought he was doing good.
Whereas touching accursed objects, Akan was still alive through that, but just ended up losing the blessings that he had, which was the victory over I
Oh,
at
wait.
Jericho.
Do you know, you may not know, Vince, that he did end up dead. Did you know that?
He did end up dead, but it was not
Okay.
instantaneous.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're understanding that. He did end up
Yeah.
dead.
Well, he
Okay.
ended up dead because he lost his blessing.
Yeah. So like no
So
longer
losing
part of
a
the true
blessing
object.
when it's needed and touching a blessed object that is not to be touched are somehow different, where the punishment for touching the holy object or the holy relic was actually worse than just touching, arguably taking and not destroying cursed objects.
Okay, what did you just say? That touching is worse than taking, not destroying?
Yeah, so touching God's special box, as you called it, the punishment was worse and more swift
Oh yeah, I didn't think about it like
than
that.
the punishment of hoarding
No,
the cursed objects that were deemed to be destroyed when Jericho is conquered.
yeah. Now, if I may, I think in my mind, I don't know if it's, how good this is, that in my mind it's a more heavenly thing is what that is, and then this Akan story is a more down to earth story. That's how my mind goes. So the more
Maybe.
heavenly you go, the more both reward and risk you receive. So the more care you should put into each that what is that called? Each action or whatever. This is just my opinion. I don't have like any verse for what I just said, but it's my opinion is that the more down to earth, the less both risk and reward you get. The more heavenly you go, both risk up and reward up. So awesome when you get reward, and it really beeping sucks when, more risk, right? Like God punishes those he loves. So how much risk can you take, And there's a lot of things going into that, which I'm not sure I want this stream to be about that. I'll probably make another stream about that. Anyways, I want to go ahead and read the part where Akan dies, just in case anybody was like doubting or wondering what's that. So, Joshua 7:25. Then Joshua said to Achan, "Why have you brought trouble on us? The Lord will now bring trouble on you." And all the Israelites stoned Achan and his family and burned their bodies. And I do want to mention all of these things. Okay, I guess I'll just read the verse before that. Then Joshua and all the Israelites took Achan, the silver, the robe, the bar of gold, his sons, daughters, cattle, donkeys, sheep, goats, tent, and everything he had, and they brought them to the valley of Achor. And then I'm pretty sure they just like throw it into the valley, so they throw it into the trash. Everything about Achan is gone. That's severe. Okay, God, help us repent of darkness into going to light, for God is light, not touch cursed objects, and not touch God's special box. Basically, just not touch the things that we're not supposed to touch. I'm sure there are things we are supposed to touch, but I don't try to. What do you think about that, Vince?
No comment.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of anything else before I end my stream. Like I said, I'm not sure how short or long I want this stream to be. We were talking about chaos and Lord of the Flies and all kinds of things. Let's just check how long this has been. It's about 10 minutes it's been. We can always just make
Yeah.
another stream, right? So I think I'll go ahead and end this stream here, and we might make another one or we might not. Thanks for listening, Internet.